Question number 1. Question. Canada's National Police Force, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, was originally established in Option A, 1867, Option B, 1873, Option C, 1904, Option D, 1920. The answer is Option B, 1873. Question number 2. Question. The concept of peace, order, and good government is foundational to the governance of which country? Option A, the United Kingdom. Option B, the United States. Option C, Canada. Option D, Australia. The answer is Option C, Canada. Question number 3. Question. How much of Canadian exports go to the USA? Option A, 75%. Option B, 10%. Option C, 25%. Option D, 50%. The answer is Option A, 75%. Question number 4. Question. Which Canadian was instrumental in the invention of the electric wheelchair? Option A, George Klein. Option B, Alexander Graham Bell. Option C, Frederick Banting. Option D, John McNaughton. The answer is Option A, George Klein. Question number 5. Question. The term habeas corpus comes from English common law, which means Option A, the state has the right to imprison you at any time. Option B, the right to challenge unlawful detention by the state. Option C, your rights are less important than the rights of the state. Option D, the state has ultimate power over your property. The answer is Option B, the right to challenge unlawful detention by the state. Question number 6. Question. The Canadian scientist who played a pivotal role in the discovery of stem cells in the early 1960s is Option A, James Till. Option B, Frederick Banting. Option C, Charles Best. Option D, John McLeod. The answer is Option A, James Till. Question number 7. Question. Canada is a federal state, a parliamentary democracy, and what else? Option A, a direct democracy. Option B, a republic. Option C, a constitutional monarchy. Option D, an absolute monarchy. The answer is Option C, a constitutional monarchy. Question number 8. Question. What does the term Acadian refer to in Canadian history? Option A, the descendants of French colonists in the Maritimes. Option B, the first settlers of New France. Option C, Indigenous people of the Atlantic region. Option D, British loyalists who settled in Canada. The answer is option A, the descendants of French colonists in the Maritimes. Question number 9. Question: what year marked the official adoption of the national flag of Canada? Option A, 1965. Option B, 1980. Option C, 1967. Option D, 1975. The answer is option A, 1965. Question number 10. Question: Alberta joined Confederation in year? Option A, 1867. Option B, 1870. Option C, 1880. Option D, 1905. The answer is option D, 1905. Question number 11. Question: which Canadian city is known as the cultural capital of Canada? Option A, Montreal. Option B, Toronto. Option C, Vancouver. Option D, Halifax. The answer is option A, Montreal. Question number 12. Question: which provinces have their own police? Option A, Ontario and Quebec. Option B, British Columbia and Manitoba. Option C, Alberta and Nova Scotia. Option D, Prince Edward Island and Saskatchewan. The answer is option A, Ontario and Quebec. Question number 13. Question: what is the significance of the term the 100 Days in Canadian military history? Option A, the final phase of World War I. Option B, the Canadian involvement in the Korean War. Option C, the peacekeeping mission in Cyprus. Option D, the NATO mission in Afghanistan. The answer is option A, the final phase of World War I. Question number 14. Question: Canada's Peace Tower, an iconic symbol of the country's commitment to peace, is located in option A, Ottawa. Option B, Toronto. Option C, Montreal. Option D, Vancouver. The answer is option A, Ottawa. Question number 15. Question: the Hudsons Bay Company, established in 1670, was primarily involved in what trade? Option A, furs. Option B, spices. Option C, timber. Option D, fish. The answer is option A, furs. Question number 16. Question: who was the first woman to be elected to the Canadian House of Commons? Option A, Kim Campbell. Option B, Agnes MacPhail. Option C, Emily Stowe. Option D, Nellie McClung. The answer is option B, Agnes MacPhail. Question number 17. Question: in 1792, some black Nova Scotian established a colony for free slaves in Option A, Nigeria. Option B, South America. Option C, France. Option D, Sierra Leone. The answer is Option D, Sierra Leone. Question number 18. Question: what major event did Canada host in 1988, which showcased its ability to host international sporting events? Option A, the Summer Olympics. Option B, the Commonwealth Games. Option C, the World Expo. Option D, the Winter Olympics. The answer is Option D, the Winter Olympics. Question number 19. Question: the Great Coalition of 1864 was important for Canadian Confederation because it Option A, ended the war between British and French colonists. Option B, united political leaders from various regions. Option C, led to the annexation of Canada by the United States. Option D, resulted in the first national election. The answer is Option B, united political leaders from various regions. Question number 20. Question: which groundbreaking Canadian medical achievement was recognized with a Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1923? Option A, the discovery of insulin. Option B, the development of the pacemaker. Option C, the invention of the electron microscope. Option D, the identification of stem cells. The answer is Option A, the discovery of insulin. Of question number 21. Question: what groundbreaking environmental initiative did Canada launch in 2001, focusing on renewable energy? Option A, the Wind Power Production Incentive. Option B, the Eco Energy for Renewable Power. Option C, the Renewable Energy Deployment Initiative. Option D, the Green Energy Act. The answer is Option C, the Renewable Energy Deployment Initiative. Question number 22. Question: the Royal Canadian Mint, known for producing all of Canada's circulation coins, is located in which city? Option A, Ottawa. Option B, Winnipeg. Option C, Toronto. Option D, Vancouver. The answer is Option B, Winnipeg. Question number 23. Question: how many official languages are recognized in the Canadian Parliament? Option A, 1. Option B, 2. Option C, 3. Option D, 4. The answer is Option B, 2. Question number 24. Question: the historical site of L'Anse aux Meadows, known for being a Norse settlement, is located in which province? Option A, Newfoundland and Labrador. Option B, Nova Scotia. Option C, New Brunswick. Option D, Prince Edward Island. The answer is option A, Newfoundland and Labrador. Question number 25. Question. The Canadian territory of Nunavut was created in 1999, primarily to provide a homeland for option A, the Métis. Option B, the Inuit. Option C, the First Nations. Option D, the Cree. The answer is option B, the Inuit. Question number 26. Question. Canada's iconic national symbol, the maple leaf, was officially adopted in the national flag design in the year. Option A, 1965. Option B, 1973. Option C, 1980. Option D, 1967. The answer is option A, 1965. Question number 27. Question. Which symbol was adopted into Quebec's flag in 1948? Option A, French crown. Option B, the Cross of Lorraine. Option C, a lion. Option D, fleur-de-lis. The answer is option D, fleur-de-lis. Question number 28. Question. Which of the following religion has greater rights in Canada? Option A, Islam. Option B, Judaism. Option C, Christianity. Option D, all religions have equal rights. The answer is option D, all religions have equal rights. Question number 29. Question. Who was the first Indigenous person to hold the position of Governor-General of Canada? Option A, Mary Simon. Option B, James Bartleman. Option C, Michael Jean. Option D, Jody Wilson-Raybould. The answer is option A, Mary Simon. Question number 30. Question. Canada's international stance on landmine abolition was solidified through its ratification of option A, the Ottawa Treaty. Option B, the Geneva Protocol. Option C, the Landmines Act. Option D, the Treaty of Versailles. The answer is option A, the Ottawa Treaty. Question number 31. Question. The equivalent of the Prime Minister in the federal government is called what in provinces? Option A, Head of Region. Option B, Premier. Option C, Governor. Option D, Regional Prime Minister. The answer is option B, Premier. Question number 32. Question. What percentage of Canada's population lives around the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence River? Option A, 10%. Option B, 25%. Option C, 50%. Option D, 75%. The answer is option C, 50%. Question number 33. Question. What does the poppy symbolize in Canadian culture? Option A, military victories. Option B, the monarchy. Option C, remembrance of soldiers who have died in combat. Option D, peace. The answer is option C, remembrance of soldiers who have died in combat. Question number 34. Question. What global conflict was Canada involved in from 1914 to 1918? Option A, the American Civil War. Option B, the War of 1812. Option C, World War I. Option D, World War II. The answer is option C, World War I. Question number 35. Question: Federal government started the residential school program to? Option A, to educate and train the Aboriginal children for military services. Option B, to educate and assimilate the Aboriginal children into mainstream Canadian culture. Option C, to educate and assimilate the English children into French culture. Option D, to educate and assimilate the French children into English culture. The answer is option B, to educate and assimilate the Aboriginal children into mainstream Canadian culture. Question number 36. Question: in which year did the war occur that is significant for Canadian history? Option A, 1812. Option B, 1867. Option C, 1914. Option D, 1945. The answer is option A, 1812. Question number 37. Question: Northwest Territories joined Confederation in the year? Option A, 1870. Option B, 1873. Option C, 1880. Option D, 1898. The answer is option A, 1870. Question number 38. Question: which Canadian hero came from the ranks of Mounties? Option A, Louis Riel. Option B, Sam Steele. Option C, Gabriel Dumont. Option D, Arthur Currie. The answer is option B, Sam Steele. Question number 39. Question: what initiative is credited with significantly reducing acid rain in Canada and the United States in the 1980s and 1990s? Option A, the Acid Rain Treaty. Option B, the Clean Air Act. Option C, the Environmental Protection Agreement. Option D, the Great Lakes Charter. The answer is option A, the Acid Rain Treaty. Question number 40. Question: which Canadian city is recognized as the birthplace of Confederation, where the Charlottetown Conference took place in 1864? Option A, Charlottetown. Option B, Quebec City. Option C, Montreal. Option D, Toronto. The answer is option A, Charlottetown. Question number 41. Question: in what year was the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms entrenched in the Constitution Act? Option A, 1982. Option B, 1967. Option C, 1971. Option D, 1992. The answer is option A, 1982. Question number 42. Question: what principle is fundamental to the Canadian justice system? Option A, the rule of law. Option B, the right to a state-appointed lawyer. Option C, the presumption of innocence. Option D, the right to trial within a year. The answer is option C, the presumption of innocence. Question number 43. Question: Canada became an official title in which year? Option A, 1791. Option B, 1796. Option C, 1782. Option D, 1776. The answer is option A, 1791. Question number 44. Question: how many other nations is Canada linked to through the Commonwealth? Option A, 33. Option B, 43. Option C, 63. Option D, 53. The answer is option D, 53. Question number 45. Question: What groundbreaking Canadian medical achievement occurred in 1950? Option A. The first successful lung transplant. Option B. The discovery of stem cells. Option C. The invention of the pacemaker. Option D. The development of insulin. The answer is Option B. The discovery of stem cells. Question number 46. Question. What does the term Acadians refer to? Option A. Early French settlers in Ontario. Option B. Early French settlers in Quebec. Option C. Early French settlers in the Maritimes. Option D. Early English settlers in Newfoundland. The answer is Option C. Early French settlers in the Maritimes. Question number 47. Question. How many Canadians lost their lives in the Second World War? Option A. 44,000. Option B. 70,000. Option C. 60,000. Option D. 20,000. Now the answer is Option A. 44,000. Question number 48. Question. Which of the 5 Great Lakes is the only one that isn't at least partly in Canada? Option A. Lake Erie. Option B. Lake Michigan. Option C. Lake Huron. Option D. Lake Superior. The answer is Option B. Lake Michigan. Question number 49. Question. How many Black loyalists, freedmen, and slaves came to Canada for a better life after the American Revolution? Option A. 40,000. Option B. 80,000. Option C. 10,000. Option D. 3,000. The answer is Option D. 3,000. Question number 50. Question. If you can't afford to pay for a lawyer, Option A. You must represent yourself. Option B. You request the government to provide one. Option C. You can find legal aid services at low cost or free in most communities. Option D. You can apply for a legal grant. Now the answer is Option C. You can find legal aid services at low cost or free in most communities.